$65 billion US dollars, thousands of senior personnel, and the promise of a made-in-America future for the global chip industry. Everything seemed ready for TSMC's giant leap in Arizona. Yet behind those glamorous numbers, a brutal reality is gradually emerging. The most ambitious project in semiconductor industry history is standing on the brink of complete collapse. Why is a giant that has never failed, like TSMC, now running aground right in this desert? Let's join explaining everything to find out right now. Before we begin the video, please give our team a like, share, and subscribe to the channel. If you have any interesting questions or topics, leave a comment below this video. And now, let's explore the story. TSMC has launched one of the largest semiconductor industrial investments in history in Arizona, with the total commitment now increased to approximately $165 billion USD for the entire Fab 21 complex, including a recently approved additional $20 billion USD to expand manufacturing capacity. This project began in 2020 and is considered TSMC's advanced manufacturing base outside Taiwan, with the goal of producing 4nm, 3nm, and eventually 2nm process technologies in the future. TSMC and the US government's biggest expectation is to build a safer semiconductor supply chain, reduce dependence on Asia, and directly serve major customers such as Apple, Nvidia, and AMD right on American soil. However, Arizona is also a place filled with strategic risks. It could potentially become a money-burning machine that drives TSMC's project into complete bankruptcy. Today, to understand why, we will break down these 6 major layers of risk one by one. From extremely expensive construction costs, shortages of skilled technicians, cultural shocks, pressure on electricity and water supplies, the risk of massive financial losses, and finally, an invisible but deadly problem, the semiconductor ecosystem. Entering the first barrier and also the most obvious one, excessively high costs. Looking at TSMC's factory construction story in Arizona, you can see that the cost difference is as high as 4 to 5 times compared to Taiwan. Instead of $1 billion, the number could surge to nearly $5 billion. The reasons lie in high labor wages, lengthy licensing procedures, and a much more complicated construction standards system. In Taiwan, you can imagine TSMC operating on its home map, with a seamless supply chain optimized like a Swiss watch assembly line. But moving to Arizona is a serious reality check. The soaring costs have made the investment equation extremely stressful. You can see the paradox here. America wants semiconductor self-sufficiency, while TSMC wants expansion to reduce risks. Yet when they come together, the costs explode. From an economic perspective, even after construction is completed, efficiency may not justify the investment. This is the greatest pressure facing the project. The first example is the Fab 21 Phase 1 factory. When it was first announced, the projected cost was around $12 billion USD, but after only a short period of time, this figure was pushed to more than $40 billion USD for the entire 3-factory complex. This was not a slight overrun, but an exponential escalation in cost. The second example is delays that stretched for years. The 5nm factory was originally expected to begin production earlier, but in reality, the schedule had to be postponed because construction was taking place while simultaneously having to retrain the operational ecosystem. Delays in progress mean capital costs continue to accumulate, while interest expenses and depreciation rise day by day. In addition, we can clearly see the cost gap between the two systems. In Taiwan, a TSMC semiconductor factory technician typically earns an average salary of around $25,000 to $38,000 USD per year. This is a level that has already been optimized within a long-established ecosystem. Meanwhile, in Arizona, an equivalent technician could receive a salary of around $70,000 to $100,000 USD per year, or even higher if they have experience working in cleanroom environments or with EUV equipment. Not to mention that senior operational engineering positions can exceed $150,000 USD per year. You can immediately see that labor costs alone could already be 2 to 3 times higher, or even more, not including additional expenses such as insurance, benefits, labor taxes, and recruitment costs. For a factory requiring thousands of engineers and highly skilled technical workers, this difference is no longer a small number. Moving to the second barrier, we run into a workforce crisis, the shortage of highly skilled technicians. Looking at TSMC's move into Arizona, you can see that this is not just about building factories, but also about lacking an entire highly specialized talent ecosystem. Over the past several decades, the United States seems to have focused almost entirely on software and chip design, while manufacturing gradually shifted to Asia. The consequence is a massive gap in specialized hardware assembly workers. According to the SCA, America's semiconductor manufacturing market share fell from around 37% in 1990 to below 12% by 2020, clearly reflecting the long-term shift of supply chains over multiple decades. Meanwhile, companies like Intel still maintain domestic manufacturing, but are increasingly dependent on global supply chains, while Apple does not manufacture chips itself, and instead outsources production to TSMC. NVIDIA also mainly focuses on GPU design rather than operating factories. Even TSMC's chairman admitted that they could not find enough skilled workers for this core construction phase. But you have to understand, assembling chip-making machines is nothing like constructing office buildings. It requires equipment engineers, process specialists, and highly experienced operational technicians. This is not the kind of work you can do after a few months of training. As a result, TSMC had to bring experts from Taiwan to the United States for support. In 2023, during the construction of the Fab 21 factory in Arizona, the company proposed bringing around 500 Taiwanese engineers to directly support the installation and operation of the production lines, after previously deploying more than 1,000 engineers during the construction phase. Even during the 2024 to 2025 period, it was estimated that around 50% of the workforce in certain operational areas was still made up of Taiwanese employees. This immediately sparked controversy in the United States, as some labor unions such as Arizona Pipe Trades 469 opposed it, arguing that it reduced job opportunities for local workers. As a result, the workforce issue became not only a technical challenge, but also a sensitive political problem. In 2023, there was even a period when progress had to be delayed by nearly 1 year due to a shortage of technical personnel. Looking at this situation, you can clearly see the paradox. The machines exist, the money exists, but the people skilled enough to operate them are lacking. What makes it even more difficult is that TSMC is trying to replicate an entire ecosystem that took more than 30 years to develop in Taiwan and transplant it into the United States. The third risk, something invisible yet capable of creating major conflict, is the difference in operational culture between the two sides. Looking at TSMC in Arizona, you can see that this is not just about technology or money, but also a very clear clash of work cultures. Taiwan's 30-year manufacturing culture was built on iron discipline, high speed, and standardized processes that almost leave no room for error. Meanwhile, the American work environment places greater emphasis on labor regulations, employee rights, and work-life balance. Just imagine it. On one side, a tiny mistake can destroy an entire multi-million-dollar batch, while on the other side you cannot simply copy and paste that exact operational style into a completely different environment. Forcing these two systems together creates daily friction in management. It is not necessarily that the technology is failing, but rather that the people and working methods are not yet aligned, causing the entire project to remain in a constant state of adjusting while moving forward. The clearest example is that at semiconductor factories in the United States, engineers can stop production lines if they detect safety conditions that do not meet OSHA standards. While in Taiwan, the priority is often to maintain continuous operations in order to avoid millions of dollars in losses caused by production interruptions. On the other hand, at TSMC in Arizona, there were periods when Taiwanese engineers had to work shifts lasting 10 to 12 hours per day to maintain the project schedule, while American employees strictly followed the 40-hour workweek limit and clearly regulated paid overtime rules, leading to a rhythm mismatch in work coordination. Now we move to the fourth issue, a very practical limitation: pressure on electricity and water supplies. Looking at TSMC's story in Arizona, you can see that it is no longer as simple as having money and technology to build a factory. The core issue lies in resource infrastructure, something that seems basic, but is actually critically important. A chip factory is like a giant data center combined with a chemical laboratory, drinking millions of gallons of ultra-pure water every day to wash wafers and etch chips, equivalent to the water consumption of an entire small town, while simultaneously requiring a stable 24/7 electricity supply that cannot be interrupted for even a single moment. Just imagine placing this monster in the dry Arizona desert, and you will immediately see the enormous pressure it places on infrastructure. TSMC's Fab 21 is located in an area affected by the Colorado River crisis, where water supplies have repeatedly been reduced due to prolonged droughts, forcing authorities to prioritize residential use before industrial use. Because of this, TSMC was compelled to build an on-site closed-loop water recycling system, aiming to reuse around 60 to 70% of wastewater in order to reduce dependence on external water supplies. Water is scarce, electricity must remain absolutely stable, and every expansion step brings along enormous additional costs. The fifth risk, the risk of massive financial losses, may seem small at first glance, but it is actually the deciding factor for survival. Looking at TSMC in Arizona, you can see a picture that appears fairly stable. The factory is already operating, 4 antimatter chips are already being produced, and the technology is not lagging behind at all. From a technical perspective, they have successfully brought the Taiwan level to the United States. This is not just empty talk. In fact, the initial performance has even been quite positive. But the issue is not about technology. The real question is whether the money being burned is generating the expected level of efficiency. The entire $165 billion project is like a giant aircraft taking off smoothly. But the longer it flies, the more it consumes extremely expensive fuel. Just imagine this. The machines are running well, but every production cycle becomes more expensive than expected. In that situation, TSMC's core advantage in cost optimization gradually gets eroded. According to industry estimates, operating costs for a chip factory in the United States could be around 20 to 50% higher, mainly due to more expensive labor, construction, and logistics. For example, with the exact same 4-nanometer production line, TSMC in Taiwan can take advantage of an extremely optimized ecosystem where suppliers are located right around the factory. Meanwhile, in Arizona, many parts of the supply chain have to be brought in from far away, causing the cost of every operational step to increase significantly. At first glance, it does not look like a collapse, but the longer it operates, the more expensive it becomes. And in the end, the ultimate question remains, is it truly worth the price being paid? And finally, we uncover the deepest layer of the problem, the semiconductor ecosystem. Looking at TSMC moving into Arizona, if you think that simply building an advanced factory is enough to automatically become world-class, then you are missing one extremely important piece of the puzzle. TSMC's true strength does not lie in the factory alone, but in an entire giant machine in Taiwan that has been operating for more than 30 years, where everything fits together almost perfectly. There exists a dense network of material suppliers, equipment providers, maintenance services, logistics systems, as well as chip packaging and testing facilities, all operating continuously. If just one link encounters a problem, the entire system immediately feels the impact. But once moved to Arizona, the issue becomes obvious. You can relocate the factory, but the ecosystem behind it almost has to be rebuilt from scratch. Many supply chain links still remain in Asia, meaning things are no longer in a just call and it arrives immediately situation, but instead becomes slower, more expensive, and out of sync. For example, core materials such as photoresist or ultra-pure gases used in chip etching can be supplied within just a few hours inside Taiwan's industrial zones. But in Arizona, they may need to be imported from Japan or South Korea. In short, a modern high-tech factory without a supporting ecosystem is no different from a Ferrari supercar driving through the desert. No matter how advanced the technology is, it is difficult to achieve efficiency without the proper operating conditions. This is precisely the major challenge that the Arizona project must solve if it wants to avoid the risk of failure.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe my channel. Bye bye.